Okay, let's say you got For the Lord RPG and you want to know what to do now. What do you do? Okay, let's just get right into it. I'm going to move you over to this view. Now, this is Foundry, but you don't need Foundry. I'm just using it as like a table. And I'm just showing you everything just so you know what I'm doing. Sort of. But the main thing is you got to make an adventure to start off. And in my game, there is a campaign book and some adventure ideas. But let me just kind of go through it all for you. First off, you're going to need dice. And obviously, the dice you're going to need, you can get on Amazon. It's the D20 dice. And these are all the dice. Right? You got your D20, D12, D10, D8, D6, and D4. And remember, all these dice are the rank system too. So I'm going to line it up. I hope it doesn't disappear on me. This is the rank system. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's 5 die ranks. This is your D20. Use a D20 for every roll, and you got to beat a 12. Just by default, 12. 12 is a simple number. 12 to hit, 12 to climb the wall, 12 to persuade, 12 to preach, 12 to prayer, whatever. 12. You know, as a game master, the grand minister, you'll change that 12 as you learn the rules. Go a little higher or lower or whatever, but mostly higher. They get their trait. The character gets to roll a D20, plus an accompanying trait like prowess for combat and jumping and stuff, awareness for perceiving things and dodging and noticing things, you know, whatever. Savvy for picking locks, opening doors, fixing things. That's savvy. Wisdom for faith points, or is it wisdom? Spirit, spiritual, which is wisdom. Faith points, courage, things like that. Intellect for clues, reading, crafting, of course, making things. And then society for social things, persuasion, trading, even performance things like guitar and stuff. But you gotta get skill ranks in it, and you buy skill ranks. And when you have 3 skill ranks, you can use a D8 here. If you only have 1 skill rank, you use the D4. If you have 5 skill ranks, you use a D5. And for the starter game, just go to 5 maximum die ranks. Don't go beyond that. You can. It turns into a dice pool. But for now, just do this. But let me show you a dice pool real quick, just so you understand. This is a dice pool. Let's say you have die ranks going up to, 13. So you get a D12, D12, D8, and you roll that and pick the highest. You get the highest. That's for dice pools when you get above 5 die ranks. But the beginning game, if you're a beginning GM and a beginning players, just max out at 5 die ranks. Whether they use their skill, blessings, or whatever advantage you give them, max them out at 5 die ranks. And obviously, you make the bad guys and the difficulties 12 or not too much higher than that for starters. Obviously, you can go higher as you learn more, understand the rules more. But assume right now, everything they have to do, they have to beat a 12, like to hit somebody, to climb, to persuade, keep it simple. And then later on, you can change that number. And then you'll see the number change from 12 to 14 or 16 or whatever in the game, if you use any of the little adventurers that I have in the game. Okay, so let's make a character real quick. I just want to jump real quick to making a character. Just Tempe here, just to show you the character sheet. And obviously, you're not using this. I just want to pull up the character sheet for you. Let me just pull that up real quick. Okay, so this is the character sheet. And I'm going to make a character real quick, right off the top of my head. I'm going to do clergy, whatever. Priest, preacher. Okay. I don't know. Him. But that's tough. Preacher. Player. Exemplar. Me. Glory points. So you start off with 0, 0. 0, 0. So 0, 0, 0. What does that mean? 0 is the total glory points, running total. So after 10 adventures, you might have 30 glory points. The second number is how much you have right now to spend on things. Okay, so that's what that refers to. So I'm gonna give him 2. Let's say I gave him 2 to start with, and so let me put it 2. That's what that is. Okay. Prowess. Now in the rules, you see the making the characters. You start with a +3, a +2, +1, 0, -1, -2. That's it. You don't have to roll dice or anything. Just so I'm doing the preacher, so I'm going to have him be a +3 for spirit. And then from here, I can just kind of decide what kind of a preacher do I want him to be. I'm going to have him be a warrior preacher, so +2, just kind of fun. Let me do +1 for awareness, because that helps with his defense. It adds to his defense of 12. It goes to a 13 because of the awareness. So that's something, you as a GM, when you make bad guys, you can do that too with the bad guys, the bandits and ruffians and cult warriors and bears or whatever. You can, you can change the 12 to with this and stuff. Or you can just keep it 12 just to keep it simple for beginning games, okay? Savvy is going to be... Well, that is for repair. So this is going to be one of those warrior dumb guys, right? So he's all about for the Lord dumb prayer guy. So, I mean, I can make him more interesting and do this, but let me just do this just to keep it simple. So he's not a paladin, like a holy paladin, but you can do that character class as well, that style. I'm doing him as a holy cleric, like a warrior cleric, like a cleric who's, wields a mace or whatever. So I'm going to say mace. And so he has +2 prowess, right? The prowess there. And then I'm going to give him 1 die rank in his to hit. The damage of a mace, I believe, is a D10. I'm not going to look it up, but I think it's a D10, but we'll just stick with that. Heavy. Range is melee, obviously. Style, I think it has crushing. I can't remember exactly. There's a list in the book. Actually, let me pull it up right now. Fine. Here's the book. Okay. And it's a PDF, the PDF too. Maybe I should open the PDF because it's sort of like what you probably have if you've downloaded it. Let me just find the PDF real quick. And this is kind of silly. Where do I have the PDF? PDF. I know I'm going through my stuff here. PDF, product, Amazon, which is the same as what you get on the website. Dark Ages. Let's just go to the PDF. PDF file. Okay, we'll do that. Okay. 2 pages. Okay, where is it? PDF. Where's I know it's at the back, because at the back I have most of the references, but I want to just go to the character area. Okay. So a hammer, mace, D8, crushing, and parry. Okay. Hammer is D8, and it's crushing and parry. Now, the styles of the weapons are not necessarily, you don't need to use them. They're optional. And I really encourage optional, like just ignore it until you become a better player. And then you start, what can this weapon do? Like, what other extra things? Okay. Crushing, however, is one that you can definitely want to grab on now. It'll do a critical at a 19 or a 20 roll, not just a 20. Okay, so double damage and wounds. And I'll get to that. I'm going to go through everything with this. I'm also going to give him something else. I'm going to give him the Bible. And that's kind of a funny one. Do I have it on here? Oh, I do not have it on here. I have it on the newer version, or the apocalyptic and the sci-fi, but not on this one. Like using the Bible as a weapon, just because, doesn't necessarily make sense. I'll give him. I'm gonna do a light crossbow. What the heck? He kind of knows there's other dangers. Give him crossbow. So it's +1. I'm gonna just leave it at +1. It's D4, so it's small. I think it's medium. Let me see. What was it? Medium. Oh, it's light. Okay. Because I might make this thing more lethal, medium, whatever. I could be a little off. Lethal at 4. And what the other thing said? Reload. So I have to use a maneuver to reload it. So I can't run around if I want to reload it. Lethal, I believe that's the rule. Well, let me look it up real quick. I should kind of be cool about this. Takes up a maneuver. If prepared, can shoot first. Can reload if attacked in melee or suppressed. Optional. Okay. So if someone's suppressing me with fire or whatever, or even attacking me fiercely, I probably can't reload my weapon. Lethal 4. So if I do the full 4 points of damage, they will take a critical, like a -1 die rank grievous wound. If anyone goes past 5 grievous wounds, you die. Just it doesn't matter how many points you have. Okay. So hold on a sec. Okay. What was I doing? I don't even know. I had to take this text and respond. I had to respond immediately. Okay. Light crossbow, reload, lethal 4, good into grievous wounds. Okay, defense. Armor. I got to decide the armor. What he's going to have. I'm going to give him a pot helm just because it's kind of funny. And that'll give him a +1. Oops, that goes under defense. A pot helm gives you a +1 to +1. I'm going to give him a shield too. I feel like he's a doofus, you know, like, I'm going to burn it. So +2. So pot helm will give him +1 and shield +2. So that's 3 and 4 and 12 is 16 to his defense. So that's how hard it is to hit him because he's pretty well defended. And I'm going to give him chain. I think he's like serious, you know, about fighting for the Lord, but not a paladin. He's like defending the church, but also in his, you know, faith. Okay, so D6. He's get a D6 for armor save. So whenever he takes damage, regular damage, he can roll a D6 and reduce it by that much. Okay, his vitality. Oh, let's roll that real quick. For Min, it's 6. It's a D6 hit die. D6. So he starts off with 6. He gets his prowess. It's 2, so it's 8. Plus this roll of D6 right here. 4. So he's got 12. This guy's a little toughy. Okay. And on the right here, you're going to use just to take notes here for his damage and stuff. And always leave this vitality the total. Don't change this unless you improve it. How do you improve it? You get glory points. As you can see, I have 2 up here. I might spend them. But remember, it gets expensive as you go up. So 1 die rank costs 1 glory point. 2 die ranks cost 2 glory points. 3 die rank, you getting it? Now, here's an interesting fun thing. You can actually increase the damage of your weapon using glory points because you're using skill. Using skill to hit, which to me is more like how many times you strike really quickly. And damage is how much oomph you put into it. So there's 2 different skills in weapons. And you can see I have weapons up here. As you can see, I have weapons up here. So I am accurately describing how this works in a game. Okay, not all those soft-shouldered other game designers. I'm actually a doofus who does that stuff. Okay, so this D8 right here is, 3 die ranks. So if you want to go to D10, because you really want to get that oomph in your mace, I need 4 glory points to buy that, to upgrade that. Okay, now you can keep note of that, or, well, you don't need to keep note of it because you just gotta, whether you're using die ranks of, say, quality weapons or using skills, you just got to go in and use whatever to buy it, the glory points, raise it up. Okay, that was a little confusing, but whatever. You know, if you get a mace with a +1 die rank and you've already put in a die rank yourself, and then that one is included, that's fine. It doesn't cost you more. That just goes into the die ranks. Okay. All right, whatever. All right. So you have 2 extra glory points here, which I'm going to spend here in a minute, but I haven't done it yet. I certainly can't do it for this because that's 3 die ranks. In order to go to D10, I got to get 4. So I got to wait till I get better, till I get more experience and whatever. I could make this D4 go to a D6. That would cost me 2 glory points, right? Because it's 2 D6 is 1 glory point, or 1 die rank, and D6 is 2. So I might want to do that just to make that light crossbow a little more deadly. And like you could interpret that as me knowing where to shoot better, where I should shoot it at, or like me getting bigger crossbow bolts, it could be that kind of interpretation of that thing. Okay. Oh, one other thing I got to do is get spirit. Ooh, this is probably where I want to spend it, but I can only spend 1, so fine. So I'm gonna have to take off 1 here. No, I get 2 free ones, which I did the mace, and I'll do this one. So I get 2 free, and then I'm gonna start with 2 extra. So that's a little, you can do that. I think I get more than 2 for free. But no, I get some blessings. I'm sorry. Blessings are bless, heal, and protect. I'm gonna do the 3 basic ones. So what are those blessings? So I'm a preacher, clergy. Oh, I'm not even a preacher here. I am a. I'm just trying to think what would I call myself, because I'm doing. It's like a warrior more than a preacher. I'm not a preacher, that's for sure. And I'm not a paladin, so church security, church guard, I don't know. Church cleric warrior. I'll just cleric warrior for simplicity. Okay, cleric warrior. Sonodium. Yeah, that's Sonodium. I'm just making Skype. Okay. Gear. Let's go with gear. You gotta do your chain. Okay, I think chain is 2 mediums actually. Chain, I think. Without looking it up, I think. Okay, mace is heavy, I think. Let me look it up real quick. It's right here, I think. Chainmail is 2 mediums right there. I should make this a little bigger, but don't need the assist. How do I close this? Okay, that's good enough. The hammer is medium burden. Oh, okay. Chain. Ooh. Now I can put a medium in. Oops. I can put a medium in heavy. I just can't put a medium in light. Okay. Chain mace. Let's see. Camping gear. I think I know that's heavy. Camping gear. I definitely want that. Light. Let's see. Light. Torch kit, which basically is like oil and wrappings that you can put on any wood you find, any branches. Torch kit. What else does this guy have? He should have a Bible, but I can't think of anything else right now. But you can come up with other things. But you got 4 lights, 3 mediums, 2 heavy. Oh, I can just look on the thing here. I'm just doing this really simple. So, lantern and oil. Well, I got the torch kit. Sack of salt, tasty sausage. Sure. Sack of salt, and you can use this for things. Tasty sausage. I might use that to try to bribe somebody. Okay, I got bless, heal, protect. I got 1 die rank in spirit, which gives me a D4 plus 3. So let me roll that right now for the fun of it. 1. So I got 4 faith points I could use for the day, and then I do a separate roll for each encounter. In each encounter, you reset the faith points. Now, each encounter refers to using your faith points in a very stressful, combative situation. For the day is like you guys are traveling, you're at the church, and you can use, let's say, those 4 that I just rolled there. 4, 3 plus 1, 4. And you can use bless, especially bless, because you probably wouldn't use heal or protect, because that's really combat kind of things. But bless you can certainly use when if you or someone else is trying to roll to repair something, or preach to somebody, or pray. You can spend 4. Let's say I want to spend all 4 die ranks or all 4 faith points for someone to pray. So I basically give them 4 die ranks of bonus, right? And they have their 1. Let's say they have 1 die rank in prayer, so they get 5 die ranks, which is a D12 plus the D20 plus their spirit. Well, let's say I'm doing it. Let's say they have. Okay, let me say, just for the fun of it, I give myself prayer as my using these up here instead of 1, and let me use 1 more for the crossbow. Might as well just add it here to hit. I would prefer doing the damage, but I don't have enough for it, so because I got that prayer skill there, so I just got to wait for that. Okay, so prayer, all right. I really don't want to use it for the prayer. I really want to use it for this, to be honest with you. Well, then I could take this one off here. I will. No, this one here. All right, I'm gonna read that. I know I'm being silly here. Take that one off, and take this one off. So that's 2 right there. And I'm gonna put this to a D6. There. So I like that. So he's only got +2 to mace, and only a +1, but a D6. The reason I want that is because I want to be a little dangerous. Okay. Now, the reason I'm taking off the to hit is because I can, if I roll this really high, this prayer, I can add inspired die up here. And let me explain that right now. This is important. Die rank results is a rule that you can use to expand out the game dramatically. And I love it. And it's just one rule to rule them all, do all kinds of things. But the basic concept is you roll above a certain number, and obviously the default being 12. And when I roll above that number, I get those. I have that number, the success, whatever that success is, and I get those as die ranks to do things with, depending on the situation. So prayer. Let me roll this out. But I'm going to be a little fun here with this roll, this prayer roll, to get a die rank result. A die rank result. Okay. The die rank result. First, I want to try to get this up. Okay, I'm going to use, remember I said I had four blessings, four faith points. I'm going to use all 4 in a bless for my prayer. So now my prayer is up to 5 die ranks. See? 5 die ranks. And this is during our rest period before we go out on an adventure. So I'm going to pray with everyone. Now, I could also get bonuses for being in the church and corporate prayer, but I said to you that just for this game, maximize it at 5 die ranks, because if you go to 6 or 7, you're going to do this thing. you know, D12, D8. It's a dice pool, and I get it. I will use it, but a lot of players at the beginning don't understand that concept. So let's just keep it maximum 5 die ranks for now. So D12. Okay, so I got a D12. So I'm just gonna go ahead and that's simple enough. I'm gonna roll a D20, a D12 plus my spirit of 3, and my goal is to beat 12, and whatever I get above it. Nat 12. Look at that number, 34. Wow. Oh, that cool or what? I'm definitely uploading this video. Okay, so I did this amazing prayer, got into Psalms, got some people to cry, fess up their love of Jesus, and, you know, went for hours. This amazing experience. I might even, like, as a GM, I might award him something. Like, I might give him another die rank in prayer just for that. Look at 11 too. Nat 20 and an 11. I'm gonna give. That's the Nat 20. He gets I give myself a free die rank in prayer. Ugh. Ah. Whew. Oh my gosh. Okay. You know, I might even I would even have the player either before the roll or after the roll. What do you say? What is it that you say is in this prayer? What is it that, you know, well, you know, that's how you did play this game. Okay, so 34 above 12 is 22. Half of that is 11, right? 11. So 11 die ranks you get to disperse amongst the players. Plus I give him this permanent 1 die rank increase in his prayer skill. Okay, so because of the Nat 20. So 11 die ranks that he gets to give, and let's say he takes, you know, 4 and he gives the others, or let's say he takes 3 because he's so super nice. So he's got 3 die ranks, and he gives 8 to the other parties or whatever. Okay, 3. So now this 3, what does that mean? Inspired die, 3 die ranks up here. So now you can use that to spend 1, 2, 3 on any kind of roll that you do later on in the game, and you know, so and you use them up, you spend them. Okay, you can use it in. Anytime you roll a d20. So this is not rolling a d20 for the spirit because you're just rolling this. Damage die, you don't get it because you're just rolling the d8. Only when you're rolling a d20 do you get to use inspired die, you know, or the die ranks in that sense. Okay, so that's the basic game right there. Beating a 12. D20 rolls can use die ranks or inspired die or bless or whatever. But rolls that are just the die rank here, you know, the damage here, and then just this one here with the spirit to get your faith points, you can't add bless to it, or you can't add inspired die to these. Okay, their damage is generally pretty straightforward. You don't get to add anything to it or upgrade it unless you do it through glory points, or you have a holy weapon, or you're a brutal giant type of creature, whatever. Then you might have an extra die or whatever. But you do not add your prowess to it or anything like that. Okay, so that's the character right there. You know, at some point he's going to use his bless, heal, and protect to put faith points into healing, into protecting somebody or several for duration. So you can roll. Let me explain that real quick to you about the blessings, and it works with, you know, the witches, evil curses, and all that too. But if I have 4 die ranks in the middle of a combat, let me roll again. I have 3 plus 1 die rank there. This is a pretty low level character. So 4, yes. 4 and 3 is 7 faith. So this cleric has 7 faith points in this new encounter against brigands or whatever. So the one thing he wants to do is he wants to protect everyone, give him an extra protection here, right? So he's going to spend how much on deliverance, deluge, and duration. Those are the main 3. Duress and distance are extra things for resisting, and then distance, but distance is optional. Just the first 3 are the main ones in the game: deliverance, deluge, and duration. Right? Deliverance is how much you want them to be protected by. Is it, you know? Here you have 1, so that's a D4. Let's say I want 2, D6. How many do I want? Deluge is how many do you affect? How many are you? You know, dear Lord, protect me and my brothers from this evil brigands. You know, that's basically what it is. And so let's just say 1. That's how many you're going to affect, up to D4. You're spending 1 faith point, okay? And duration is 1. How many turns do you want it to last? Actually, I'm going to go back down to this. So this is actually what I'm going to do, because I'm using 3 faith points to spend protection, and I'm hoping to get high rolls, but I could get low rolls. I could get a 1 on all of them, okay? But that's the fun risk of doing this. And it's a downer when they roll low on some of these, but I like the randomness of it. So I'm going to roll this real quick and explain to you then. He rolls a d4 for each of those categories that he's using. And here's what he gets. Or I get, or whatever. All right, so down at the now you can do this on a table. You don't need these little tool macros I'm using, but I am using them to show it to you. So for deliverance, he rolled and got a 2. So they add 2 to their defense. Okay. Deluge 4. So up to 4 people can get it. So that's cool. So he's at the bottom right here. And duration is 3 turns. This is a really good roll. So for 3 turns, 4 of the party get a +2 to their defense. So that's the protection. That's how protection works. That's even like how heal works, or that's how bless works. Same thing. The bless obviously gives a bonus to gives a die rank. It doesn't give the 2 here. It gives them a 1 die rank to their rolls, right? For especially for combat, it gives them a 1 die rank because I spent 1 die rank for the deliverance. I spent 1 die rank here for deluge, which is up to 4 people, and 1 die rank here for duration. Now, if I don't spend any on duration, it just lasts for 1 turn, right? Automatically, you get 1 turn automatically. If I don't spend any on deluge, it just affects 1 person. Okay, I obviously have to spend it on deliverance. I have to give them something, right? Whether it's a bless or heal or a protect. All right, so that's the character. You can do a paladin, you can do a nun, you can do a patron lady, and they all have their different. The patron lady's her power or magic or whatever, which is not magic, is that she kind of has as much stuff as she wants. She's got the donkey in the cart. And so she can pull out things, fine cheeses, perfume, makeup, gold, whatever. That's her power. The nun has her blessings, and the paladin has his fighting, glory blessing and righteous anger. And then of course you can just have a mercenary knight who's just a tough guy. All right, so that's the character. Now, you make characters. The players make characters, or you make characters for them, just so it's not too hard and they can just start playing. Like I could give that to one player and then make another warrior and then make a patron lady. And by the way, making characters actually helps you as a GM understand the game a little more, as you kind of make each one and think about what you're giving them and why. Okay, so I hope that part. Now, starting a story, let's just go through this real quick. I have for sale as downloadables PDFs that you can use to cut out these same artwork I'm about to show you. I'm pulling up here, and you can pull this up as printables and make your own tabletop, or you can just make a village. Make your own boxes and Kleenex boxes and brown paper bags or whatever to make a village. Whatever you on your table. So you don't have to use this, or you can draw it out. You can just draw out a village. But what do you do? How do you start an adventure? Good question. How do you do that? Well, you can do a simple adventure, put a church in there, put some buildings around that have villagers, and then you can have some villagers. And you kind of have to decide then, are they good, they bad? And in the Dark Ages rulebook, there's a table there. There's some tables there for encounters, for conversion levels of characters, so you can decide if they're evil or good, and deciding if they're helping the church or against the church. You definitely want to have people in there that are going to be, like in a small town, available to repair and sell things, like repair their armor and weapons and armor, or sell them weapons and armor, or food or whatever is available. You can have a village you can have them in a forest. Again, you can make your own props and miniatures. And you want to start off small. You want to start off with a village first. And then... Does this work right? No. I can't do... Oop, where is it? Copy and paste. How come it's not pasting? Oh, it's over there. That's weird. What? Okay. So you can have a village. You start off with a village. And then you want to have points of interest. Let's see here. I'm going to move out. Making whatever, maybe and right now I'm just making stuff up. Like you can obviously go through my book and roll dice and kind of follow like a pagan plot if you want. But I'm just going to be kind of silly here and do something quick. Let me see. I'm going to do a cave over here with an animal. They can go fight. There's a shrine over here. They can encounter. Because you want to say the missionaries are sent to a village to go see what is amiss and there's a church there, but the church is failing or ruined or taken over by bad guys or there's no church and you want to try to get a church in there. Just trying to put a few more buildings in here for the fun of it. But it's start with this small place and see what you can do from there. And then you want to come up with creepy things. So in this corner, I'm going to make a chasm where some dragon lives, let's say. I'm going to put, and then in this corner, I'm going to make a dungeon, a fun dungeon in, crypt tomb in the hillside. Keep it simple. I'm just kind of pulling out some stuff here to remind myself to do this sort of thing. With a little tomb. You have an evil spirit there. I wonder if they go worship there, huh? Uh-oh, evil thing there. So we got a scary monster over here they can fight that they're all fear, the villagers. We've got a shrine over here in the forest they can go to. I could put a witch in there or whatever. Let me put, just for the fun, I'm going to put some, just for the fun. There's a crazy dude that runs this pagan shrine here and he expects money as you walk by, and if you don't give it to him, he's going to curse you. Whether that works or not is up to you to decide, because he's got some brigands waiting to enact the curse. If he doesn't give the okay sign, you can have them hidden somewhere. Maybe I should have them be beastmen, huh? That do it. Frighten you. I'm not really sure about that yet. Okay, down here I'm going to have a beast. So we got to have a fun monster fight, I'm going to go ahead, since they're low level, I'm going to do wild boars. These guys can be scary enough. And they know that their crops are being cursed and destroyed because of these wild boars. So there's that. Get on the good side. Over here, I'm just gonna do like giant spiders that as like evil spirits. Don't go there. You will be trapped in their webs. They don't say webs, they say trapped, and they don't know why, because no one's come back to say why. Where's the webbing? I have webbing somewhere. Props and things? No. I have a webbing prop. Let me just get it from here, I guess. Just to remind myself of this fright. What? Why can't I get it? Okay, I think that's okay. So this should be a lot smaller, obviously. Webbings or whatever in this tomb, when they get caught, the spiders come out. See? Simple adventures, simple things like that. The village basically wants to give him all these tests to get rid of the Christians. I would say, here, let me roll actually. 1 through 8 is and I'm going to make it quite evenly random. Here's the villagers. 3, they're evil. Okay, so they're evil, mischievous. They want to get rid of the Christians, so they're going to send them off on all these dangerous missions, hoping they'll die. But each time they succeed at one, I'm going to go ahead and give them a chance to re-preach to them. Real simple. And if they win the preach, I'm going to move it up 1 level. If they win the preach. If they lose the preach, I'm going to move it, either keep it or lower it. I'm not going to move it up more than 1 level. So 3 will go to 4, 4 to 5. And there's a description on how they behave at each level. And once they get to 5 or 6 or something, they're going to be kinder, gentler. Over here, I'm going to have another beast. I'm going to have like probably like a giant lizard coming out of the hole there. I have a crocodile. I have there. Lizard beast. I might make that one a little bit bigger than that, but maybe add a few more. It's pretty big. Wow, this is an older one. Okay. Prowess. Prowess 3 and savvy. This is the old trait, secrecy and aggression. But these are all the same. This is a pretty basic, creature. I could make it either tougher or maybe just have like 2 of them or something. And I could add something of interest here. I could have these beastmen serve the pagan temple guy here, and then these guys just be hooligans in the village who are goons who enforce the locals' will because they all hate the Christians. You know, or conversion level 3 is evil, or you know. Let me read it real quick. Let me see. Let me go down to the bottom where I have references. Go down. Come on, go down. Go down, PDF. Where is it? Let's see, social standing. Oh, there, conversion level. 3, evil as chaff. Tends towards selfish needs, can be manipulated. Tends not to use violence like a greedy merchant, but will if they can get away with it. So they're going to try to send them off to die. They will surrender to save their own skin. They have feelings of worthlessness, if affirmed, may lead them to conversion. But rare is a soul in this group that is chosen. Plus 3 die ranks to resist. So they get a D8 to resist against them. But they only get to roll that if they succeed at one thing for them. And if they fail, you know, it can go down to manipulative and violent, right? It can go down, or if it goes up, it'll go up. Okay, each time. So that's a simple way of doing the conversion stuff. And once you get to 8, they will allow you to plant the church or tell you what's wrong with the church, or start going to church, and this church becomes more legit. So there you are. That's kind of this, like a basic little, you know, obviously this should be more foresty and but you know, think about this. On a table, you're going to only set up this part right in the middle here, and then when they go to another part, you're going to set this up. You're going to have a little cave system here. You can have some treasure in there or whatever, a couple little things in there, and over here, obviously, you can have, you know, blah blah blah, a couple things going on there, traps or whatever. You know, the boars are simple enough, and I think the biggest treasure for the boars is just food for them. You know, bringing food back. That will, each boar you bring back give you 1 die rank to your preaching, you know, kind of thing. And over here, obviously, you can make this tricky thing. So that's how you start a game. You know, you as the Grand Minister will play out the baddies or the villagers, and as their personalities and, you know, their goals. You know, their goals to get them out to go, and they'll tell them of all these different places and what they have, and then the players can decide which way they go. And, you know, they could be further away than this, obviously, than what you have here. You know, they could do one encounter with these ruffians here, and if it goes really bad, these guys could decide to go ambush them on the road somewhere. If it goes well, you know, they move up 1 level and don't really bother them anymore, but let them go off and do their quests here. These 4 quests. It's like 4 quests, so they get 4 chances to preach to them. You know, and go up levels levels, and each one, and there should be like treasures and stuff in each one that if they bring them back, that gives them an extra die rank to their preaching. Along with each success gives them a chance to preach anew. And they could say that these people, like, if you destroy one of our evil spirits of this forest, then we may come and consider listening to what you have to say at your church. So, you know what I mean? So each one they go to. So there's just your nice little basic adventure. And again, you can, each little corner, each little other location is something you can create a fun little dungeon or map, or, you know, and have some preaching or potential for, well, the potential preaching is in the church itself. You know, once they accomplish each task. And the only one where you have to sort of let up on violence is the one with the one at the animal shrine, having the beastmen. But yeah. Okay, so that's my explanation of this game and how that works. You know, the PDF has the NPCs. Let me go back here real quick. So the PDF has the NPCs like this. Keep it simple. Obviously the defense here is not 12, it's 15, but that's fine. They got simple weapons here for the brigands. The boar has their traits up here. Has their defense, armor save D4, vigor 13, tusk plus 3, D4 damage. But they get a charge, which gives them a little extra to hit and damage on the first turn. So that makes them scary. You know, then I have little This rabid drug diversion is for witches who do that to the boars to make them like seem like demonic beasts. But in this scenario, it's just basic boars. You could have 2, 3, 4, you know, how many ever. Each one again is a treasure, like a bonus to their preaching because they bring back on a boar, bringing back food. Okay. So again, I am if you've gotten the game from me, if you are trying to start a fellowship, I consider this a fellowship, and you can turn it into a ministry at your church as a game night thing. You can get a fellowship going, and then at some point when you and your fellowship feel good and comfortable at it, take it to a convention, a gaming convention, where there will be non-believers or Christians there that need to find a Christian role-playing game. And the goal here is me to keep making these and spreading the gospel. The goal, though, is more importantly for me is that you and I know that we can do Christian evangelism and church planning in our storytelling, in our entertainment, in your role-playing games. If you don't want to use this one, if you want to use something else, but it has to stick with this Christian evangelism church planning, like I showed in the scenario here, where they're going to this village and they get quests and they got to finish the quests and they get the chance to evangelize to the locals and succeed or fail at it. And it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail, like in the game. That's Christians fail all the time. It's not a big deal. We're not sacred. Okay, role-playing a Christian is not about making it sacred. It's not about that. It's about practicing and rebuilding our evangelist church building psyche as a culture, using it in our stories so that we can get better at it as Christians in real life, and so that we are constantly thinking about it as Christians in real life when we do it in our entertainment, in our stories, and it's fun. And it's very light. It's very light and fun. Okay, it's meant to be light and fun when you play the game. The evangelism is very light. I play the pagans and make them kind of mock and scoff. It's all very light and silly. So it's not meant to be sacred. It's meant to be practice. If we practice something like, you know, sports, why can't we not practice our evangelism? Anyway, okay. In the game of life, everybody, roll holy dice. Oh, contact me if you want, if you need anything, you know, if you want me to run through the game with you, and I can do that. I can quickly do that on Foundry and have you log in and through Zoom. We could do that. It's not a big deal to me. All right, game of life, roll holy dice.